Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with me today because we are going to unpack something that is absolutely fundamental to the human experience. We're going to explore a radical shift in how we view human longing and wanting. For centuries, we've been told that our cravings, our ambitions, and our wants are the root of literally all our problems. But what if we've been looking at this entirely the wrong way? Let's rethink desire. Listen to this real question posed to the visionary speaker Sadhguru. It perfectly captures a dilemma I think so many of us can relate to. The questioner feels this incredibly heavy burden about her own ambitions. She looks at her roles, being a wife, being a mother, and feels like she's just trapped by the wants and needs that come with those roles. She basically accepts as absolute fact that old adage, desire is the cause of all sorrow and tension. Okay, let's dive right into this. Is that statement actually true? Is desire really the cause of all our sorrow? We hear this everywhere, right? It's practically a universally accepted cliche that to be happy, you simply must stop wanting things. But today, we're going to challenge that assumption. We're going to break down exactly where this energy comes from, what it actually is, and how we can use it rather than constantly fighting it. So let's start with part one, the dilemma of desire. We really need to analyze where our desires actually come from, because we have to totally dismantle the idea that our life roles, our jobs, our relationships, our families, are the things creating this unending hunger inside of us. The questioner blamed her desires on being a wife and a mother. But think about it logically for a second. If you stripped away every single role you play in life, if you were just nobody's nothing, wouldn't that burning nature of desire still exist within you? Of course it would. Because before you were a wife, you had the desire to become somebody's wife. Before you were a mother, you had the desire to have a child. The roles aren't creating the desire. The desire predates the roles. It's simply your fundamental nature to want. Moving on to section 2, the source of misery. We've got to pinpoint the exact mechanism causing our psychological pain here. Because the questioner's original statement, that desire itself is the source of all misery, is actually fundamentally incorrect. Desire itself isn't the problem at all. Think about it. When your desires are fulfilled, what happens? You feel joy. You feel totally satisfied and happy. It is specifically unfulfilled desires that act as the source of your misery. We have to separate the mere existence of our life's longing from the painful state of leaving that longing unfulfilled. It's a subtle difference, but it's massive. Which brings us to section 3, the trap of killing desire. So I want to put a challenge directly to you. Should we kill all desires? Recognizing that unfulfilled desires hurt has led society to look at our pain and offer a very specific, ancient, and honestly guilt-inducing piece of advice. We're told that we must completely destroy our desires to find true peace. I know people have been teaching you things like this your whole life. Unless you destroy your desires, your misery won't go away. But I want you to consider if this traditional advice is actually just a massive psychological trap. I mean, can you even do it? Let's expose the logical absurdity of this trap for a second. If you say, I want to destroy all my desires, well, what is that? It's a desire. You literally now have a great, massive desire to destroy all your other desires. And because you can never truly destroy your core nature, you're just going to remain eternally unfulfilled. Even the darkest thought imaginable, I want to die, is, at its very core, a desire. And right on the heels of that, let me ask you, is I don't want any desires a desire? Yes, absolutely yes. You just cannot play tricks with this energy. It is impossible to outsmart it by wishing it away. If you try to deceive yourself with this kind of philosophical trickery, it simply isn't going to work. Let's look at section 4, the true nature of desire. We've got to stop trying to destroy something that cannot be destroyed. Let's transition from deconstructing all these old myths into revealing the really empowering truth about what this energy actually is when you strip away the social baggage. Because desire is fundamentally indistinguishable from life energy itself. It's not just about wanting a fancy watch or a new promotion. If you want to move from point A to point B, you need desire. What brought you to watch this explainer today? Your desire to learn. What's going to make you eat dinner tonight? Your desire for nourishment. The very basis of your life is desire. If you kill desire, the only result is that you cease to live. Life literally is desire. Which brings us to a completely reframed definition. Desire is the energy of life longing to become unbounded and reach its infinite nature. It isn't inherently about material things at all. At its core, that unending feeling of wanting to be just a little bit more than you are right now is your life energy longing for expansion. We really need to let go of this materialistic guilt. Your desire's ultimate goal is actually unboundedness, the infinite.
And that takes us to section 5, becoming conscious.
This unending cycle of wanting more isn't inherently evil or broken. It's simply that this life energy is functioning completely unconsciously within most of us. Because we're unaware of the true infinite nature of our longing, we give it an unconscious, reactive expression. Think about it. If you live in a bustling city like Trivandrum and your neighbor gets a big car, what is your desire? You unconsciously want 2 big cars. But if you live in a remote village and you've never even seen a car, but your neighbor gets a big buffalo, suddenly your burning desire is to have 2 big buffaloes. Our wants are utterly blind. They're just absurd, unconscious reactions to whatever immediate social situation we happen to be living in. When your longing to expand finds unconscious expression, it just keeps you endlessly running like a madman, always chasing the next car or the next buffalo. But if you bring awareness to your desiring process, if you make it conscious, it completely transforms. Conscious desire is no longer a problem. It becomes a wonderful vehicle. Even if you want to reach the ultimate spiritual heights, you literally need the desire to drive you there. Finally, our last section, shaping the next generation. Let's bring all this lofty philosophy back down to earth for a second and look at the reality of the woman who asked that initial question, her reality as a mother. How does mastering desire practically impact the real world? The stakes here are monumental. Being a parent is not a small responsibility. You're bringing another human being onto this planet. It's not just about reproduction. It is about shaping their very nature. What kind of people are going to live on this planet in the next generation is being decided by the parents of today. Mastering this energy of desire isn't just some fun self-help exercise. It is practically critical for the future. Which leads us to this incredibly profound quote from the source material. When you have such a responsibility, you cannot afford to live unconsciously. Transforming your desire from a blind, unconscious reaction into a conscious vehicle is a duty. If you're shaping the next generation, you absolutely must become conscious. You cannot pass down the endless, frantic running of a madman to the humans who will inherit this world. Your desire is your life force. Don't kill it. Don't fight it. The real question is, will you grab the steering wheel and live consciously, letting it drive you toward your ultimate nature?